Hello and welcome to the Vet Supercars NZ show. Tonight we have a very special show. We've got Daniel Gaunt joining us tonight for an interview. So we'll get started with that and I'll hand you over to Stephen to start off with some questions.
Okay, thank you, Geordie.
How you doing, guys?
Welcome, Daniel Gaunt, to the interview show for us. Okay, my questions are, you raced at Lucas Dunbar Motorsport in 2010. What is your opinion on their 2014 form with their new driver, Marcel Engel?
I think they've shown some with the Triple Eight equipment. They've shown some speed. I mean, Winton, they should have probably had a podium for their efforts there. But it's always tough being a one-car team. Russell's got plenty of experience and drives the car pretty well. So I mean, that it's always going to be a tall ask trying to compete with the big boys, though. And if they can constantly or consistently be in the top 10 week in, week out, that's a good result for them.
Okay, Lucas Dunbar also hasn't confirmed their enduro drivers yet. They have said they are considering 3, 1 Australian and 2 non-Australian drivers. Are you one of them?
I wouldn't have thought so, no. I haven't spoken to them, so I wouldn't have thought so, no.
You were also heavily linked to the 21 entry as a co-driver as well. Are you still in the shortlist, or is it still Pither?
I think I'm really good mates with Dale, and that'd be a cool ride to be with Brad and Kim. Run a great team as well. Like their results this year and last year with the car of the future have been fantastic for a small budget team. And I would love the opportunity to drive there, but I would think that Pither is probably in the box seat there, given he's tested the car already. They haven't announced it, and I'm not sure why not, but I would think it's because of money, negotiation with whoever they want to drive the car. Obviously it's a small budget team, so if enduro drivers or co-drivers can bring a little bit of support or a sponsor, is probably what they're after there. But I have spoken to them. But I don't think it's too far away. I don't think it's too far away from them announcing probably someone like Pither or maybe Blanchard.
Oh yeah. Last year you were the co-driver for Michael Caruso. Did you try to get a contract extension with Nissan Motorsport?
I mean the thing with the whole game at the moment with the 28 cars going down to 25, what that meant was there's 3 really experienced guys coming out of it that have had full-time experience, and Dean Fiore, one of them, who's a good driver, they are often the sought-after guys. If you can, with the most amount of experience, the guys that have just come off the back of a full year in the main game, that's who the team sort of gun for first. And obviously that was a good deal, great team. But everything good has to come to an end at some point. And for me, that was the end of last year.
Okay, my last question is: Are you still with Chatham Motorsport Group in the Super Tours?
Thank you. So you seem to be extremely busy with your career at the moment. Can you tell us what you do on a daily basis and all the categories you race in at the moment?
Yeah. So I work for 2 manufacturers in Australia. So I work for Porsche. Do about 40 days driver training for them in Brisbane a year, and then for same, we do maybe 70 to 80 days with Audi all over Australia, just showcasing the cars and putting drive programs together and It's sort of the bread and butter, I guess. It fills your year up, the gaps in between. Otherwise, you'd be sitting at home twiddling your thumbs. So last year I had, a really busy year. I raced 24 weekends out of the 52. V8 Super Tours, obviously the V8 Supercar Enduros, the South Island Endurance Series, and the Development Series last year. This year was a little less, but I'm racing Australian GT and a Lamborghini this year. I did the Pro-Am Carrera Cup round at Phillip Island, and hopefully some Super Tour Enduros this year, and maybe the full championship, and then maybe Bathurst as well. All going well.
Oh yeah. So you
I
raced
did Bathurst 12 out this year actually as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So you raced in the Super Tours last year.
Yep.
So what do you think about the whole Super Tours scenario with like the limited cars on the track and like the different calendar situation for this coming year, starting with the Enduros? What do you think about that?
I think it definitely needed a break. The championship ended in December last year, and then started again in the end of January or early February, whenever it was. So there was 6 weeks or 7 weeks between round for the last round and the first round. So it definitely needed a bit of a break. That wasn't long enough. Business, commercially wise, everything shuts down over Christmas for December, end of December, and nothing really starts early January. So no one really had time to recover and look for new deals and sponsorship. So that's why you saw the low numbers this year, and that's why Tasman didn't do the first 2 rounds. But I definitely think this 3 or 4 month break over winter and then starting afresh. So all the guys that were sitting on the sideline probably wouldn't have come back even this year. They would have saved it for next year. But starting afresh, starting a new championship is definitely going to help. And given the 2 categories now are talking, and the TLX cars, the NZV8s, have been invited to race with the Super Tours. The quality at the front hasn't changed and will not change. It'll always be good, but you need numbers. You need something to look at the whole way through the field. So if you've only got 13, 14 cars, the show's not good. But if you can get them closer to the 20 mark, where it has been, it certainly makes the front guys look better, and then creates racing throughout the entire field. The same as V8 supercars. There's majority of the time it's the same guys winning. But what makes them look good is the 25 guys or behind them. If they weren't there, if it was just 3 or 4 cars racing each other, it would be a boring race. But you need the depth there to make it a full show.
Yeah. Geordie, are we going to do?
I have something. Has the TLX cars actually been officially invited to race?
I'm only reading what you guys can read, but as far as I'm aware, the series have been invited to the TLX series, the 4 or 5 cars there that have been built have been invited to race with Super Tours, and I know there's discussions about parity and trying to get the cars to be a little bit more matched, so they're competitive, which should be good. And like if you can have 13 or 14 V8 Super Tours like they did this year, and have the 4 or 5 cars, that starts making a decent field, and then hopefully you can attract the other sort of 7 or 8 Super Tours that were sitting on the sideline, and you'd have a big old full field, and it would look really good.
Yeah, that would be good. So we'll move on to a sort of game now, and it's basically we say a name of anyone or anything, and just give us your first thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Stephen, you can start.
Okay. The Dunbar family.
Pass.
Okay. Why not Rick Kelly?
Fit. He's extremely driven. They do a lot more work. Todd and Rick do a lot more work than what people give them credit for. Like, they're not only just drivers; they actually run that whole deal. They're in the office at 7 o'clock in the morning till late at night, and they're controlling that ship, and they do a pretty good job for two cowboys.
Why not Andrew Waite?
Yeah, I mean, he's a good dude. He's obviously been my teammate at Tasman for the last couple of years, and improving massively. You know, his experience was Utes before the V8 Super Tour stuff, and he's gaining knowledge and getting faster and faster on the track.
Why not Greg Murphy?
The Godfather. He's a guru bloke. He's a driver that every New Zealand driver that not only looks up to V8 supercars, but all over the world can look up to. You know, his lap of the gods at Bathurst in 2003 and his 4 Bathurst victories. You know, one would be very nice, and he's got 4 of them. So an absolute legend. He's the Godfather.
Okay, why not Matt Scaife?
He's the equivalent of Greg Murphy in Australia. He's the 5-time champion, or 6-time champion, I think now, Bathurst, and obviously multiple Australian touring car champion as well, 5 I think of them, and he's the equivalent. He's the Greg Murphy of V8 supercars, or Australia, sorry.
Another Kiwi legend, Jim Richards.
Oh man, he's guru. He loves his tea. Whenever we have a cup of tea at home, we always say, it's good enough for Jim Richards, it's good enough for us.
Okay, Braden?
What about Chris Pither?
Yeah, I mean, he's a hard-working dude. I don't know much about how he puts everything together, but, you know, it's not easy getting on the grid year in, year out and doing what we do. And, he's managed to do it despite the knockbacks. So, he's a battler, and, he's pretty good with his hands, putting deals together as well. So, yeah.
Matt Halliday.
Same. He's a grafter. He manages to put deals together year in, year out. He's most guys can envy what he's done. Even Jamie Whincup could envy what Halliday has done. You know, he's raced Spa 24 Hour from Monaco to Indianapolis support to all through America, all through Europe, all through Australia. He's raced some of the biggest races around in the world, and his scrapbook is certainly full of some cool photos.
David John.
He's I've driven for him once, or twice, sorry, 2 rounds. He threw everything at Team Kiwi trying to get that to work, and he did for 7 or 8 years successfully, and had the support of the nation behind it. And then for 2 or 3 years there, he battled to try and resurrect it. I've got to give him an A for effort for trying to keep it all together. But he's certainly put his heart and soul into V8 supercars or motorsport for New Zealand. You can't fault that.
Yeah. Geordie.
Okay. So, are you a Apple or a non-Apple supporter in terms of technology?
I've got everything Apple, man.
Yeah.
I've got my MacBook Pro in front of me. I'm talking to you on my iPhone, and I've got an iPad as well.
Yes. Finally, another Apple fan. People now. Jamie Whincup.
I don't know him too well. Really successful. Like, he's only young, and he's won 70 odd races, and Lowndes is sort of nearing the end of his career. I think Jamie's probably got another 10 years to match to get to where Lowndes is age wise, but he's so only 20 races behind him. So certainly going to, we're watching history, watching him drive. He's etching his name in the history books for sure.
Yeah. What about the Australian NASCAR driver, Marcus Ambrose?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know him at all, but I've certainly followed what he's done. He won the 2 championships in Australia here, and then it's not, you're virtually starting again when you go to somewhere like America, just in a category more suited to what you've been doing. It's tough, let alone just changing the discipline completely. So, he's had a roller coaster of a ride, and he's often what they say, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, and I'm sure he's having a hell of a journey. To be fair, I mean, he's probably making more than the entire V8 supercar field put together, money wise, and probably enjoying life. So I guess he achieved what he wanted to in Australia, minus Bathurst, but and then went to America to try and achieve something new.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well this season, isn't he, Stephen?
Yep.
Yeah, I think he's close to making the chase. So
yep, if he wins, he's in.
Yep.
If.
Yeah, road course. When's the next road course?
3 weeks' time.
Yep.
He's won there 2 times before.
Yeah. Watkins Glen.
It should be good then.
Yeah.
What about the owner of Triple Eight Racing, Roland Dane? He doesn't have too many fans. What's your thoughts on him?
And you can't. I think he's got, if there's 25 drivers in the field and 50 together with all the co-drivers, they're his biggest fans. I think every one of them would give their right testicle to drive with him. He's got an awesome operation, and he's built an empire in Australia over the last sort of 7, 8, 10 years or whatever he's been going. I think it's 10 years now even in Australia. So he's certainly done well, and he sells equipment to a lot of the leading teams like BJR and even Nissan Motorsport. He sells a lot of equipment. He's a dealer for a lot of stuff here, and sells his engineering skills as well. So he spreads it around and makes good money out of it, and runs a faultless operation.
Yes. So now we're going to do some more questions to find out more about you and your personality, I guess. So we'll start off with, what is your favourite movie?
I can only remember recent ones. I've probably got something a bit older, but Anchorman 2 probably.
Oh, yeah. What's your favourite song? Or favourite genre of music?
I like everything. I guess I love the Killers. Always have. I like a lot of music. Yeah.
Do you have any pre-race superstitions?
I used to have a lucky pair of socks, but they got old. I've been racing a while now, so they wore out. And I tried to keep racing with them with holes in them and try and get them through scrutineering and show them other pairs, and then it just got to the point where it was not even a sock anymore, and you're putting it on, and so not anymore, no, but I did.
Do you have any bad habits apart from trying to sneak old socks through the scrutineering?
Bad habits.
Yeah. Or annoying habits.
Oh, you probably have to ask my close friends, or I probably don't have any that I can think of. I'm perfect, aren't I? No, I don't know. What can I think of? Bad habits. Bad habits. I guess bad habits. No, I can't actually think of any bad habits. Sorry, fellas.
No, that's right. Stephen, your questions to find out more about is.
What's your favorite meal?
I'm old-fashioned. Like I like just a chicken breast, vegetables, and potato. That's it. Yeah. I like
In the flat that you live in with Dan and I think his girlfriend, who's the cook?
Dave. Dave's definitely the cook.
Braden?
Who would be your favourite driver in the V8 Supercars right now, current?
Who would be my favourite? Current. Probably Craig Lowndes. Just
Right.
like for like he is probably 4 or 5 times as famous as any of them, and still has a smile on his face for every single fan, for every single reporter, every single interview. He's always got a smile on his face, and that's tough to do. And you got to hand it to him. You know, he doesn't have to anymore. He's there. He's set. He's financially, he could just hide away and avoid everything, but yet he's still out there, still smiling. So that's he's probably one of the most decent all rounders there. Actually, no, probably or Dave. I forgot about Dave. Dave's a good bloke. I don't think of him as a V8 supercar driver. I think of him more as a mate. No, as a V8 supercar driver. Yeah.
Yes. What are your favourite hobbies outside of motorsport? Yeah.
Outside motorsport, probably watching TV. Yep, I'm watching motorsport. So it's probably my biggest hobby outside of it.
Okay. Do you do any racing simulations like iRacing or R Factor or?
I've pulled around on it. I haven't got into it competitively or online or religiously, but yeah, I've fooled around with it a bit.
Right. Okay, so I think that concludes the interview. Unless anyone else has any questions for Daniel. No, cool. So thanks for watching the V8 Supercars Incident Show Daniel Gaunt interview. Thank you, Daniel, for joining us tonight. And until next time, guys, don't forget to leave us a like on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, leave a like on this YouTube video, and we will see you in the next one.